And welcome back to the Ruby Tuesday. My name's Ruben and this is my review for A Kind of Kidnapping. It's a film that's coming out in the UK cinemas tonight in certain UK cinemas and then digitally on the 24th of July on iTunes, Amazon, Google and Sky. So let's jump in. A young broke couple kidnap a sleazy politician who decides he can spin the story to his own advantage. So Dan Clark, this is his first feature. He also writes this. He's done a couple of shorts and this one has done the circuits, like the film festival circuits, and has garnered a lot of praise. So I was interested to check this out. I'm always interested in dark humor British films that are indie. I guess the dialogue is quirky enough to grab you just in the trailer, a little bit of interest, and then kind of has a twist that you weren't expecting. I would say this is a little bit paint by numbers. You can kind of guess where it's going. I did for the most part. There are a couple of shocking moments that I wasn't expecting. I remember having a reaction. I said a word that I don't want to get demonetized for on internet, because if you say one swear word you apparently get demonetized really easily. But there were a few moments that I wasn't expecting, which was great. There are a few standouts in this film. I think it flows by fairly quickly. The dialogue I think is quite quirky and is dark like you're expecting. The humor is exactly what you want it to be. It also is has a political message, but that isn't the message of the movie. It is understated in places, and sometimes it'll slap you with this message saying, oh, it's this. But that never detracts from what the actors are giving you, their performances that you're getting on screen. You're definitely going to like a particular character, be rooting for them, and then love to hate a certain character and develop other feelings for another character. There are those moments with character progressions with our couple that you're rooting for them in the beginning, and the story obviously progresses to an ending that I could guess. Now, I like the ending, but I also wanted a bit more satisfaction as to what happened to a couple of our characters. So I would have liked a little bit more. I think the ambiguous ending works sometimes with indie films. Here, it's kind of, you can guess what's happened to them. It's also kind of, again, that political storyline that they're having in relation to what's happening in our world. I think it's very telling as to what the writer was trying to say, what the director was trying to say in his film. Not have it preachy, but have it funny, but also really relevant to what we're going through in the UK with our politics. I think that works well. The humor, I think, has story beats that work well as well. That dialogue, the timing to get, comes down between whether the actor can present the dialogue in a way that is humorous, whether the director can pull out the timing needed for you to be laughing or be interested in the characterizations of how the actors are presenting that dialogue. And I think for the most part, they do get it right. I loved how this was filmed. I think it looks stylistic. It looks more expensive than I imagined than it is. The score for me was the best thing about the movie. You know, there are other things that are great about it, but I loved what they did with the score in the editing. So I guess it's editing and score hand in hand, because you have a mixture of classical music in between this weird, tense, dark background of the story that's progressing in a way that, you know, you start in one situation and the situation just keeps getting worse and worse. That's what we have here, but the score kind of changes up the feeling of that, like it just doesn't feel quite right. And then we have these quirky, I guess, sound effects that they wanted to put in there in between the classical music, and it just works really well to add atmosphere and tone for what they're going for. So you love to hate certain characters, you love to root for certain characters, and by the time you get to the end, you're like, oh, okay, that's where it went. It has a message and it stuck the landing with that message, but I still kind of wanted more from the ending. I personally wanted to know what was happening with those characters. I think as a first foray into features, Dan Clark has done a fantastic job. If this was my first feature, I think I'd be really proud of this, and he should be, because from shorts to this, I think this is gonna hit the mark with a lot of people, and it has already done at festivals. So I'm gonna give this 3.5 Nicolas Cages out of 5.
And you got one. Congratulations.
As a first time feature, I thought this was really fun. A good film actually for filmmakers to learn what you can do with a small budget, what you can do with a couple of good actors in a contained space, really. it really comes down to what you get from your actors in that space and how you film it to make it entertaining, and that is something that was done. So if you're heading to the cinema this week in the UK and you're looking for something a little bit different, a bit humorous, a bit British, I think you will enjoy this. Let me know if you're looking forward to this, or perhaps if you caught it at a festival. I'll be interested to hear your thoughts when you've seen it. Thanks so much for watching, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.